Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning truth, 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophets, servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are you few sisters that are sincere, and your children, shalom. And then today's video is going to be another update video of basically, the things that are taking place with the protests and things of that nature. So this video is from 2 hours ago. So it's an update on, things that are taking place, man, because we see that situation that's happening with those protests. A lot of people thinking that it's going to get back normal. Like, no, those things are not coming. These situations are going to get worse and worse. And that's what the guy basically is talking about in the video. That, it's been a worldwide call that, these things could possibly happen in a lot of more states, man. So, you could possibly see chaos beginning to take place on a global scale in this place, America, man. But right, that's what the men of the Lord have been warning these people about. We've been telling them that these things are going to take place. And that goes into what it tells you about in Jeremiah 30:7, man, because this is the time that we're fastly approaching, right? And it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. So that's what time period it is that we're coming into, brothers and sisters. Jacob's trouble, man. That day that the men of the Lord have been warning you people about, starting off with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. They've been warning you people, mainly you Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and Specklebirds who may look like these heathen nations, to repent, to turn back to the Lord, and to get your spirit right, man, because we're about to come into some deadly serious times, man. And that's where we see everything manifesting in this place, America, because we're around that time, man. You got World War III heating up over there in the Middle East. You got the Israelis getting ready to attack Iran. And right along with all of the stuff that's getting ready to pop off happening in this place, America, it's all setting up for prophecy, man. Ultimately for the Lord to destroy and to judge this place, man. But that's where we're coming to, right? So I'm going to get into this video, so we can basically get a gist of it, of what the guy's saying and the news updates or whatnot. So before I get into this video, I want to say fair use on the 1976 Copyright Act. Not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only. So with that being said, fair use.
Currently here in the United States, millions of Americans are being told to prepare and be on high alert. If you live in a major city, then you need to prepare for a potential protest against ICE in your city. Today, we're going to discuss what's going on, what leverage President Trump has, and what he is planning to do.
Right. And you hear what it is that he said, right? And I'm going to go to a precept just to touch on that, brothers and sisters, through the spirit. But we hear what it is the guy's basically saying. He's saying that, basically everybody around the 50 states around the U.S., where you basically possibly had a Northern Kingdom at, or just people in general that they're trying to deport, that these people are ultimately about to uprise against these people, man, the government. And that goes into what it tells you about the second Esdras 15 and 16, that there should be sedition among men, right? So we already seeing the beginning stages of that, but it's going to get worse, right? So this is second Esdras chapter 13. And I'm going to start at verse 29. It said, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, right? That's talking about his elect, because we're about to come into some very deadly serious times, right? Verse 30, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, right? And we're going to look at that word astonishment, right, for edification's sake, because a lot of people in the times that are to come, they're going to be astonished, man. Because a lot of these people, they don't believe, they don't think these things are ever going to take place that the men of the Lord have been warning them about. They look at us, they laugh, they think it's all a joke, it's a game, things are funny, But soon to come, these people about to see, man, that none of this stuff was a game, because it's about to start manifesting itself, right? But this is the word astonishment, the definition. It goes into amazement, surprise, and shock, right? People are about to be in shock, man, in the near future, man. With the things that the Lord is about to ultimately bring upon this earth, man, especially to this place, America, right? This is verse 31, the point. It said, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And this is what we see manifesting, right, in this place, Babylon the Great. We're seeing the beginning stages of, Egyptians against Egyptians, man, and this is all the Lord's will, because we know ultimately, as it tells you in St. Matthew 10, the Lord said he's not coming to send peace on the earth, man. The Lord's coming to send a sword. And that sword represents destruction. You know, it represents people being at odds, being divided against one another. And we know what the Lord also says about a kingdom that's divided. This place, America, is divided against itself as of this moment. You got the American military, you know, they're ultimately deploying forces and getting ready to ultimately go against their own citizens, man. So the Lord said a kingdom divided cannot stand but have an end. And that's what we're seeing. We're in the end of this place, America, man. You know, we're seeing this place actually go down right in front of our eyes. You know, and this is a wonderful time for the sincere believers of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because we know that we're at the end, man. And we know what the Lord said through the prophecies, you know, in 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, right? Meaning this age. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that's what we're seeing manifest before our eyes. We're seeing the downturn or the destruction and the fall of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's rulership. And we seeing the ushering in of a new kingdom, which is going to be a righteous kingdom that's going to, you know, be everlasting. As it tells you in the book of Daniel chapter 7, there's going to be an everlasting kingdom that's going to be governed in righteousness. And that's what's slowly being manifested upon the earth. That's why you got all of this hell and chaos breaking loose now, right? Because we're in that time, man, where the Lord is getting ready to bring forth a lot of judgment, you know. And we don't want to get caught up in these things, brothers and sisters, because we know it's about to get crazy, you know. It's about to get real wild, you know. So we're going to get back into this video, hear what it is he's saying. But it's about to get crazy, man.
What President Trump has already said is he will go and arrest the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, if he needs to.
Right? And I got to get that precept through the spirit. You know, I'm going to go to Mark chapter 3, because you just heard what it is he just said. Trump just said he will arrest a California governor, man. If that's not kingdoms being divided, I don't know what is, you know. This is St. Mark chapter 3, verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Here it is. You got all of these Edomites fighting against one another, fighting for power. Trump going up against his own government officials and governors and people that are in power. You know, this place, America, is done, man. You know, no better way to put it. This place is through. All right. This is verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Right. Verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Right. Verse 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, right, he cannot stand but have an end. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the end of this place, America, fall right before our eyes, man. And we're seeing that through all of the scenarios that are occurring in this place. Right. And we know it's going to get worse, man, because this is all going into the time of where it tells you, you know, the devil's going to come down with that great wrath. You know, and I'm going to go get that precept, you know, Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. This is the time we're about to come into. That's why you see Trump deploying military. That's why you see these people talking about implementing the Insurrection Act of 1807, which is martial law. Because we're coming into that time, man. You know, this devil has a short time, and he ultimately got to get forward and move with his New World Order agenda. Right? Because he knows soon to come that the Lord Yahushua is about to crack those clouds, man, and come from the fourth dimension and, you know, take this place down, man. That's what these people know is coming. Right? So this is Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, right, Esau, Edom, has come down unto you having great wrath, right? And who is that wrath going to be, you know, ultimately, you know, towards? Is going to be towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Right. And that goes into what I said earlier about, you know, Esau being the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning of it that followeth. This man know that the Israelites are next to rule and power. These devils on the left hand side know these things. They know the prophecies. Right. So they ultimately going to come down amongst you Israelites severely because, you know, he ultimately believes he can stop prophecy with him trying to eradicate the Israelites, mainly the elect of the nation of Israel, because we know that's ultimately who he's trying to come after the most. Right. But we know, as it tells you in Isaiah 59 and 19. Right. And I'm going to go to that precept after I finish reading. But it says, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Right. So he know if he have a short time to rule, he know that he doesn't have a long time to ultimately, you know, do the things in which it is that he wants to do. So he got to speed up everything, you know, and that's why he's about to come down with that great wrath, man. Right. But we know when he does come down with that great wrath, who his main targets are going to be. And it's going to be trying to come after the men of the Lord, because he knows the prophecies. He knows who's up to rule. He knows the Hebrew Israelites, that we are the true people of the Lord. And, you know, he thinking he can stop prophecy or rewrite it. But right. This is Isaiah 59 and 19. KJV, it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, that's going to be Esau, Edom coming down with great wrath among the men of the Lord, the saints, right? The spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. And that's what the Lord is going to do to this devil, man. He's going to lift up a standard against him because we know that this man is ultimately trying to eradicate the elect, man. You know, that's who he really wants to come after. You know, Esau's not worried about 2/3 of Jake's. You know, he already got their mind. They already believe in, you know, all of the lies and things of that nature that it is he has put in front of their eyes. They want to come after the Lord's elect, man. Those who they know are up next to rule in the kingdom of heaven. Right? That's what Esau is trying to stop. He's trying to stop prophecy, but he just doesn't know that it's going to fulfill regardless, man. Like, you can't stop what's already predestined to happen, what's ordained to happen, you know? But that's why we see everything build up in this place, America, though, because we're at the end of this place, man. Right? Get back into the video.
He's not going to protect his citizens. It will be the responsibility of the federal government to do so. And President Trump will not back down. Today we're going to explain what's going on and what we could see.
With Los Angeles bracing tonight after sweeping immigration raids sparked protests and clashes tonight, a U.S. official now confirming to ABC News 700 Marines are now on their way to Los Angeles to join California's National Guard, which was deployed by the president, not that state's governor. Late this afternoon, a peaceful protest after the arrest of a union leader, but the city is bracing for nightfall.
Did your child
Salakia.
sustain a birth injury?
Salakia, Hakim. All right. We're going to get back into the video. Salakia. All right.
More and more cities are bracing for what's to come. The expectation is that these protests are only going to intensify and they will get bigger.
Right. And he's absolutely right. We know that these protests and everything that's happening and ultimately taking place, it will intensify because, as I said before, you know, the Lord is the one that's ultimately controlling all of these things. And what a lot of these people don't realize, especially these people here in America, is that we're at this place in. And the Lord is getting ready to judge this place. So, you know, evils like never before is about to plague this place, America, man. And these other people that are here that are not of the Lord's elect, the 2/3, the heathens, these people are, you know, approaching their judgment day, right? That the Lord is about to bring forth upon these people, right? So I'm going to go to that real quick just to prove that, because we're in a time like never before. And it's making itself known, man, to the earth and to this place, America. These Americans are about to see some things that they have never seen before, man, that they never thought would have ever come upon this place, America. You know, it's slowly manifest, right? But as I said earlier, you know, the men of the Lord, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have been warning you people and warning you about what's to come, warning you about the Lord getting ready to judge this place. We've been telling you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. So the word has went out through the four corners of the earth. As it tells you in St. Matthew 24:14, it says, and this gospel shall be taught to all nations over the earth, you know, roughly paraphrasing, then shall the end come, man. So we're seeing the end come because the Lord has allowed this true gospel, right, to go across the four corners of the earth. So that's why we're seeing these prophecies speed up, man, right? So this is St. Matthew 24:21, just touching on that time that we're about to come into, because this is about to get very serious out here in these streets of America, man. It said, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be, right? And I'm, for edification's sake, I'm going to look at that word tribulation, right? For edification's sake, just so we can, you know, get a gist of what it's talking about, because we're about to come into some very turbulent times, man, you know. But we're going to be stable in these times, brothers and sisters. Lord's will, we be of the Lord's elect. But we know what time we're living in. We know the season. We know that, you know, this place, America, has to go down. And we know that all hell like never before is about to come upon this place, right? That's why it tells you in Isaiah 33:6. And I'm going to get that scripture next. But that word tribulation, it means suffering, affliction, or distress, particularly as it relates to believers' experience and to the end times, right? And we're definitely at the end of these times, right? Which is this man Esau being in power. So we're coming to the end of his world, right? So you're going to have a lot of these different things taking place, a lot of suffering, a lot of afflictions, a lot of distress, a lot of chaos, a lot of mourning, a lot of fear. That's what the Lord is getting ready to bring upon this place, America, man. You know, But we know that, you know, Lord's will, us being believers, if we be of that Lord's elect number, that we're going to be protected in these times because we're going to have the mysteries that the rest of these people in this place did not have. That's why they're going to be bugging out and losing their mind when these things actually begin to take place in this country, America. But we're going to have the word of the Lord within us, you know, and it's going to keep us, you know, ultimately level-headed, man. It's not going to allow us to lose, you know, confidence or to lose hope and things of that nature like these other people are, because they're not going to know what the hell to do when all of this stuff really hits the fan, man. And like I said before, this isn't even as bad as it's going to get, man. It's going to get way worse. So this is only the tip of the iceberg of what the Lord is about to bring upon this place, America, man. You know, so this is Isaiah 33:6. In the KJV, it says, and wisdom and knowledge, right, of the scriptures shall be the stability of thy times, right? What times is it talking about? It's talking about these times that are coming to this place, America, man. Jacob's trouble, our temptation, World War III, you know, military troops plaguing the streets and, you know, locking people up, throwing them in prison camps, etc. These are the times that we're coming into, but the knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures is going to keep the elect, Lord's will we be at that number, stable in these chaotic times, right? And it's in strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, man, right? So we're going to be safe in these times, brothers and sisters. Lord's will we be at that number, but we know the Lord is getting ready to judge this place, America, man, and that's what's coming, you know. So we don't want to get ultimately caught up in these evils. That's why we try our best to do those things that are pleasing unto our power, man. Repenting daily, you know, fasting, praying constantly, doing whatever it is you can do to get closer to the Son, man. As it tells you in Psalm chapter 2, verse 12, kiss the Son, lest he be angry and ye perish in the way when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him, man. So this is a time like never before to be putting our trust in the Lord, man, because it's about to get real serious out here. So, you know, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Just something quick through the spirit. Lord's willing to be edifying. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.